Here we go, round 4 between Alabama and Clemson. But did you know there's going to be more than a dozen Team 1-1 alums hitting the field tonight? None bigger than Cartersville's own Trevor Lawrence. And our very own Wes Blankenship is in Lawrence's hometown with the latest. Hey, Wes.
There are plenty of Georgia towns where they are very proud of their alums playing in this national championship game tonight. Of course, everyone's proud of Trevor Lawrence, the Clemson quarterback here in Cartersville, Georgia. They're also proud of Alabama tight end Miller Forrestal, who played at Cartersville as well. Trevor beat out Forrestal for the quarterback job in high school, and if that sounds familiar, it's because that is exactly what Lawrence did this season at Clemson, taking down the competition there and actually forcing the backup, Kelly Bryant, to transfer. And this is now Trevor Lawrence's team. He is taking on the mighty Crimson Tide this evening.
He was just a great leader, good friend, and just kind of growing with him. And we went through that change where, you know, I was the quarterback and he moved to tight end, and, you know, us just working together through that. Really just trying to make each other better, and I feel like we did that. And, you know, we still stay in contact for sure. And after, you know, he watched our game, then after they won, he sent me a text and was like, "See you in California." So it's cool to keep that relationship.
Now, it's not just those two. There are others who can make an impact in tonight's game. A couple of former Roswell Hornets. Trey Lamar, a former Hornet, will play linebacker for Clemson, and his teammate Xavier McKinney going for Alabama. Trevor's offensive line made up of several Team 1-1 alums such as Chandler Reeves from Elka and Tremaine Ankron from McEachern. Anytime there's a national championship in college football, you're bound to see several players from the state of Georgia. That's no different this evening. Lawrence trying to become that first freshman quarterback to lead his team to a national championship since Jamel Holloway with Oklahoma in 1985. That's it for now from Cartersville. Wes Blankenship, 11 Alive News.